Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with the first feature race of our F2 22 career mode. Of course, racing as Assetto Corsa. If you missed out on the sprint race that went live yesterday, would highly recommend going back and checking it out. We kind of explain how this series is going to be working and everything like that. And of course, the Bahrain season opener, 12 laps yesterday. It was action-packed, it was dramatic, it was awesome. I definitely would recommend going back and checking it out. But a massive thank you to all of you as well for the insane and continued support on the channel at the moment. Of course, at the time of recording, we are very, very close to 86,000 subscribers. The big goal, trying to hit 100k by the end of the year. But yeah, let's get into it though. Feature race time here from Bahrain. But first, a quick word from our sponsor. Formula 1 is finally back in 2022 and now you can rep your favourite teams. Of course, using the F1 store, every team now has merch lineups available, whether you're an Aston Martin fan, a Williams fan, Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, the choice is completely up to you. But yeah, check out the F1 merch store down below for all the official releases from all of the teams. And of course, as always, if you use our links as well, you massively help support the channel. So yeah, give it a look and see if there's anything you like.
We're back for the second sprint race of the weekend and one that is sure to be on the young drivers' minds. All is still to play for as we reverse the grid for the top 10 drivers. We are nearly ready for the start of today's race, but in the meantime, let's take a look at the grid. Felipe Drugovich lines up on pole position, and it's Richard Verschoor in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Kawasa, Bullock-Passy, Frederick Vesti, Sargent, Lawson, Williams, Phipps, Teo Porcher, Deruvala, Caldwell, Enzo Fittipaldi, Hughes, Hauger, Doohan, Cordial, and Marino Sato, Armstrong, Boschon, Novalak, and Roy Nissany completes the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Right, well, not too sure why there's fireworks already going off here in the Bahrain GP, but I guess after the fireworks, there was the sprint race yesterday. People are just anticipating, ready for the feature race today. Of course, 16 laps ahead of us. This time around, we have got a mandatory pit stop to make, and looks like the team wants us to go long on the hard tyres to start this one, and then make the switch at about lap 9, lap 10, onto the mediums towards the end. They're going to bring the front wing down just by a couple of clicks here for the main event today, just because, you know, we were able to move past Yuri Vips yesterday, but we're going to have to try and move past a lot more cars today. And so, we're certainly going to need to try and lower that wing and have the speed down in towards the first corner then. But starting P10 for the second race of the weekend, of course, as always, we've got the formation lap first of all. But I'm really, really looking forward to this once again. The race yesterday was so much fun. Hopefully today can be the same. We might get caught right in the thick of it at the start of this race. Once again, though, we might get locked into battle with Yuri Vips, as I really do wonder how much those fireworks... I think the game gets a bit confused, of course, after the fact we did a sprint race yesterday, the fact we're here in Bahrain once again. But getting ready then to line up on the grid here for this F2 feature race. 16 laps ahead of us, like I said. Different tyre strategies today are going to come into it, but it looks like pretty much everyone is going to be starting on... No, I wasn't finished! Everyone's going to be starting, it looks like, on the hard compounded tyres, as we wait for those final couple of cars to line up on the grid. Apparently F1 does not like me trying to line myself up there, but ready on the grid then, here for the second race of the weekend. 5 red lights, and it is going to be lights out, and away we go. And look at that for a start, much better than we managed yesterday there. You really just have to dump the throttle as we head down towards someone there. Yuri Vip's going to try and come across me. We've got cars having a look around the outside. There's plenty of bumping and bashing there as Jan Deruvala swings into the side of Yuri Vip's down at turn 1. Ollie Caldwell has gone for a very, very aggressive send as well there, and we've been relegated down into P12 off the start there, and can't help but feel there was not really a lot I could do in that situation there. It's at the inside of Jan Deruvala as we head back up the hill. Are we going to be able to try and pull this move off? No, we will not. We've got to be careful. We've got... I almost called him Enzo, but it is not, of course. Sorry, it is Enzo Fittipaldi. I was almost about to call him Emerson, sorry. As we head through the middle sector for the first time in this feature race there. Trying to look around the outside of Yuri Vips. Oh, we'll go back underneath him off the corner there. He got a little bit unsettled. There was a tiny bit of contact between us, but I don't think much that would cause any damage or distress to either car. There is trying to get a bit closer to Jan Daruvula off the corner. Of course, yeah, in Prema this season, but I think it looks like one of the Tridents has taken the lead of the race off the start. Can't quite remember the name off the top of my head there. It will take me a couple of weekends to try and learn all the names there, as Felipe Drogovic has been relegated down into P2. Do not touch that curb. It will absolutely, well, wreck you is probably the best way I can describe it there, as we try and put the power down off the corner. But yeah, fairly clean and tidy start once again. A little bit more contact and confusion than in the sprint race yesterday, but that was rather an F2-like on the opening lap of the season. But at the final corner, it is, yeah, Richard Verschoor, of course, that leads the way there ahead of Felipe Drogovic in P2. We're still sat in P11 at the moment, and despite the slightly lower front wing angle, we are still struggling to match Jan Daruvula as we head down towards turn 1, as I almost do an Ollie Caldwell style move on Ollie Caldwell, but we will now make the move work on Jan, try and squeeze him over the curb through turn 2. I think we got yellow flags out, though. Someone's going slowly up the road, trying to work out who that is. It's Logan Sargent again! Sargent out of the 2 first races of the year there, as I think that's Jan Daruvula trying to look back at the inside of me. We got yellow flags out, mate, so you can try it, but you'll probably get a warning for it, as now Vips has somehow snuck his way back up into P10. We're up to 9th place, though, as Logan Sargent has well and truly, this weekend, he has been mecha-chromed as I've been barged out of the way by Yuri Vips down the hill. Didn't feel like I broke early there at all. It's a bit chaotic at the start of this one, as everyone trying to get their elbows out. Looks like Drogovic, though, trying to apply pressure to Richard Verschoor as we come towards the end of lap 2. We set a 43.4, which is not a particularly competitive lap time, but there are still plenty of battles going on around us. As we start lap 3, of course, DRS now enabled as well. But yeah, we just got to try and keep our head down here, try and close up and get within the range of Ollie Caldwell. We know we've got the pace to fight at the front. Let's try and prove it once again. Ooh, someone's gone wide behind me. Yuri Vips has gone all the way round. How has Yuri Vips managed that? Well, riding on board then with Yuri Vips off the corner. Has he just looped it round on the curbing? Yeah, he just completely bottomed out over the curbs there in a very quick half spin for poor Yuri Vips there. He's going to be re-emerging right at the rear of the field, and that is not what he wanted. We're getting really, really close to being inside the range of Ollie Caldwell at the moment. We might just be there this time round as we head down through the final corner. It's going to be so close between myself and Caldwell, and no, we haven't quite done it this time round there. We must have just tapped the brakes before we got within the range there. This should be fastest lap, though. Yes, it is. A few thousandths quicker than Jembolic Bassi there, but Jan Daruvula behind me going even faster. We head back down in towards turn 1, but yeah, we are getting back within the fight, of course, with the cars in front. We've got to try and start picking cars off as best as possible. Still 12 laps to go in this race. It's very, very early stages, effectively now. Well, we've got an entire sprint race ahead of us, but yeah, luckily Richard Verschoor at the front of the field, not quite able to romp away like Yuri Vips and myself were able to yesterday. I think Drogovic is going to be trying to make some moves sooner rather than later. And maybe the Brazilian will try to pull away in his MP Motorsport car. And now we are certainly within range of Ollie Caldwell as we head back down towards turn 1. But yeah, still struggling with top-end speed there. As again, another new fast lap of the day. We've got Callan Williams now. And I think, is that Liam Lawson? Yes, it is, sorry. Side by side down in towards turn 1 there. Williams, tries to keep the nose there at the inside of the car limit, but can't quite make it happen off the corner. And we are definitely building up more and more confidence on the throttle here, as now Ollie Caldwell is going to try and look around the outside of Williams as we head up the hill. Are we going to be able to try and capitalise on this one? Williams gets a big chunk of wheel spin off the corner. He's going to lose the 1 place, and it might be 2, as we'll have a look up the inside here. He's going to pinch me towards the apex, but Callan Williams went from trying to gain a place on Liam Lawson to losing 2 to myself and Ollie Caldwell here in this race, and that's just how quickly things can change in Formula 2 there. Back up now into P8 of this race. It looks like there's a bit of a gap between Lawson and my teammate Fred Vesti, and then a bit more of a gap again up to Jembolic Bassi towards the front of the field. But yeah, now we've got past one of them. Hopefully Caldwell now, yeah, he's outside of the DRS range. Maybe we can sneak past him down the start-finish straight. We've got to try and pick off cars sensibly, but we've certainly got to be picking them off. I mean, at the top of the hill, every time we seem to be able to get fantastic traction off the corner. A little bit late on the brakes there, almost into the back of Ollie Caldwell through the final turn, but up towards the start-finish line once more. Jembolic Bassi Now going fastest towards the front of the field there. We can't quite match him this time as Jan Aruvula down into the 41-1s, but up the outside of Ollie Caldwell as we head down in towards the first corner once again. Caldwell's going to try and outbrake me there. I wanted to do a switchback on him, but instead we'll hang it around the outside there. Side by side as we head off the corner. Make sure we just about give him the room on the exit, and we will now move up into P7 then of this race. They're past, I'm pretty certain, the Campos drivers. No, you don't. And try and go for a late last second move like that on me, mate. As we will now, inherit P7 of this race. Next up, Liam Lawson. The new fastest lap of the day as we get towards half distance. We're sat just outside the DRS range of Liam Lawson, but we are building up confidence in this car. This is really, it does take me a little while in these F2 cars, but, as we're going to be driving them quite a lot, I think, over the next few months. Not that I'm complaining for 1 second. Yeah, it is just trying to remember sort of the slip you can get on them. They are very, very fun to drive, but you overstep them, they will absolutely swing round and bite you hard. Now we are inside the range of Liam Lawson here, as I think we are soon going to get tyre strategy available to us for the second half of this GP then. Not too sure what Fred Vesti wants to do, but I'm happy to work around him here. There we go, team on us in at the end of this one, so I guess we will, unless we will see Fred Vesti dive it in. We will peel into the pit lane at the end of this lap, and I've got no idea whether the cold tyres that you get on the F1 cars is going to be the same story. Oh, we're in the F2 there as well. That's exactly what I mean about these cars. They will snap round on you if you overstep the mark, and it's not often you can catch them just like that, but these things are so rewarding when you get them hooked up there. I think Vesti is struggling to hang on to the top 4 in this race, but yeah, we're trying to apply pressure to Liam Lawson. Could we see a battle in the pit lane? See as we head up through there. Of course, still running slightly higher wing by the looks of it. We do gain a whole lot. We're going to gain even more if I try and attack the curves like that. They're really using all the white lines and the curbing to the best of our ability here as we get prepared to slow the car down into the pit lane. If I remember correctly, every F2 pit lane is 37 miles an hour in this series. We are going to have to be a bit careful there. As you can see, a couple of cars in front peel into the box. Let's just make sure we don't take any stupid risks. Very, very pedestrian into the lane. There's Jembolic Bassi just in front of us, also into the pit. So a lot of cars wanted to stay out a bit longer then in this race. Is only good there on the pit stop entry. Of course, got to make sure we get a nice clean tide. Your pit stops will be a bit longer in F2 than F1 as 4.7 seconds. Not bad, but not brilliant. I guess we'll wait and see over the course of the year how well these things pan out. But yeah, plenty of cars actually into the pits. We're only back down into P13 there as Yuri Vip still trailing the rear of the field, but I think we have lost out a little bit of time there right in the pit window. But how is the car going to face on cold rubber? Is it just like the F2 cars of years gone by, or is it like the F1 2022 cars? It feels very grippy actually. I don't think we've got any issues with tyre warmer, which in real life F2 you absolutely should, because I'm pretty certain they don't have tyre blankets. Yep, Fred Vesti into the pit lane at the end of lap 10, so at least we didn't try and extend this stint 1 lap longer. But we are taking a little bit of time at Jembolic Bassi, but I can't help but feel that we have lost a bit of time throughout this pit window. Maybe I am wrong. When C, sorry, Frederick Vesti even rather than Fred. I wonder actually in real life whether he likes Frederick or Fred. Questions I'm sure I probably won't get the answer to. But anyway, at the final corner, that is an awful line there. We're going to be battling cars on the exit of the pit lane. It is probably going to be Liam Lawson, but we'll wait and see there as we should be back up inside the top 10 shortly. It's purple through the middle and final sector here, and where are we going to re-emerge? We've actually done pretty well here. Look at this, Ayumu Iwasa. We've come out alongside the Red Bull liveried car there as we head back around the outside through turn 1. And went out over to P6 then, so there has been plenty of chopping and changing through the pit stop cycle there. Liam Lawson has gained as well there, so I think Iwasa has lost out quite badly in all of the commotion, and now you just see there, Vesti's still up in P4, but Jembolic Bassi all over the back of Richard Verschoor. Felipe Drugovich now into the lead of the Bahrain GP feature race as well, but we've still got 5 more laps there, as again, really am taking quite a gamble over that curbing, but yeah, we've got 5 more laps to try and make up as many places as we can. Liam Lawson there, just tucked in front of me, but he will not have the DRS yet off my teammate. Liam Lawson is certainly closing up the gap on Fred Vesti here late on in the day, but we are closing up the gap on Liam Lawson just that little bit quicker there as Bollock Bassi goes fast as we dip into the 39s. Similar pace to what Iwasa was able to do yesterday the only car, of course, on this set of tyres. Back down towards turn 1. Thought about it. Really wanted to think about flinging a move up the inside there, and Liam Lawson, of course, he can get away with some more audacious attempts. I think we're going to word it in the F2 cars. There is again tackling the curbs, trying to make the circuit as wide as possible. Of course, these F2 cars do require a delicate hand. You've got to be smooth with them still as well, of course, despite the fact we're on very fresh, very grippy rubber. But yeah, the young Kiwi still sat just in front of me. We are both taking time, a lot of time as well, out of my teammate Fred Vesti up the road. But I want to get past Lawson before he gets past Fred. Richard for sure going even faster then. He has not given up on this race victory just yet as Lawson improves. I improve as well. Liam Lawson's got the bit between his teeth as there goes Richard Verschoor up the inside of Felipe Drugovich, back down at turn 1. Then we've got yellow flags out. Someone's got issues. Not too sure if it's a car in front or a car behind. And I think it's Richard Verschoor. As soon as he goes for the lead of the race there, the Mechachrome engine decides, nope, you're not doing that, buddy. And Richard Verschoor even out of the Grand Prix there. It's slowed down Jem Bollock-Bassi as well, and it's given Felipe Drugovich a bit of breathing space at the front of the field there, because we've now got 4 cars in a train just behind him. Jem Bollock-Bassi is probably going to have his work cut out trying to defend to the end of this one, but yet another Mechachrome power unit failure there, as you just see really getting all over the gearbox of Liam Lawson off the corner. But Drugovich now might be able to walk away with the race victory, but there is still plenty left to be decided behind him, as can we now get a run off the corner here on Liam Lawson. We were all over his gearbox there off the corner, but again can't quite do anything. We just got to wait and see. We get a run back up the hill, as you can just see, a little bit more confident on the brakes. They're able to position the car a little bit better off the corner and really just maintain the speed there, as you can see, almost into the back of the young Kiwi. Use the curbing through the next couple of turns there and really try and rock it off the corner, and that is exactly what we've done this time round. We're going to be all over Liam Lawson as we head down towards that final corner, but he has still just about got enough speed. Again, we are practically pushing Lawson along. I can't even begin to imagine how close we were to his gearbox area, or his diffuser even, as we head out of the final corner. But 3 more laps to go of this first feature race of the campaign. The fireworks are still going off back down towards Stelman, but there are fireworks everywhere at the moment, as up the inside of Lawson will go, up into P4 of the race there. He's going to try and keep the nose there, but we will chop him off at the apex of the second corner there, and now up into P4 of this race there. 3 laps to go. We are still staying close there, as it looks like I think Drugovich is struggling at the front of the field. Jem Bollock-Bassi has closed up that gap, and Fred Vesti is right there waiting in the wings as well. There's 2 more laps to go with this race there, and we are now really starting to apply some pressure to our teammate Fred Vesti here. What would you do if you were the team manager of ART? In fact, if I'm not mistaken, it is still Fred Vasseur who owns ART Grand Prix. But down in towards the final corner then. 2 more laps to go. Oh, Vesti, big lock up there. Still somehow gets the car positioned on the apex, but are we going to be able to get the run off the corner? Liam Lawson is still waiting in the wings as well. Of course, I'm sure he will pounce if he can there. Bollock-Bassi to the inside of Felipe Drugovich as we head back down towards someone. It is all kicking off late on in the day there, as we're going to try and look up the inside of our teammate Fred Vesti there. 2 by 2 we go through the first couple of turns there. Vesti, whoa, gets a big oversteer moment off the corner, and we are going to be able to pounce on him. Round the outside we go as we head up the hill there, and that position was gained in a rather weird way there, but Vesti not wanting to give up on it just yet. I do not want to have contact with our teammate. We go off the road at the top of the hill there, try to rejoin off the exit of the curb, but can't help, like we were kind of forced out there. So not willing to back out on that one if we don't have to. It looks like the FIA have agreed with us in this moment. But Bollock-Bassi now into the lead of his first ever F2 GP weekend there. Felipe Drugovich just doesn't seem to have anything against him. As all, we get a big lock-up. Drugovich gets a big lock-up. It's all kicking off here late on in the day. Big snap of oversteer off the corner there, as again we're going to be side by side with our teammate Fred Vesti. This is why I love F2. These races are absolutely chaotic and unpredictable here, as round the outside of our teammate will go as we head up the hill there. Can we maintain the speed? Can we maintain the momentum? We're a gear too high, but we'll have the inside for the next corner there, and Vesti will have to back out of it. And in all of this, it looks like Jem Bollock-Bassi is going to have 1 more lap to go here, and a bit of breathing room at the front of the field there. Can we try and get a run on Felipe Drugovich here and potentially snooker away a 2nd place finish here? We were 5th just a couple of laps ago, but this is the joy of F2 that anything can happen as we get a big wobble off the final curve, and they're still trying to work out exactly what the limits of these cars are, what you can expect from it and what you can't. But one more lap to go. Cembolek Bassi leads the way as we head back down towards turn 1 here. We are trying to apply some pressure to who is probably going to be our big title rival this year in Felipe Drugovich. Took pole position on Friday night, but has really struggled come Saturday and Sunday there. Of course, just couldn't carve his way through the field yesterday, and yeah, just hasn't been able to break away. He's had a couple of opportunities, but I wonder if there is just a small issue on that MP Motorsport car there. I'm hoping Vesti can try and hang on ahead of Lawson just behind us as we head down through the S's. Whoa, for the final time in this race there, do not hit that inside curb. I've learnt that now in the final lap of the weekend, but rounding in through this middle sector for the final time in this race, Cembolek Bassi is still looking comfortable at the front of the field, but will we be able to get closer to Felipe Drugovich? No! No, we won't. We just overstepped the mark there, and it's all going to go wrong right at the end of the racer. Apologies, Jan Aruvula, for a tiny bit of contact, and after all of that, it's all come away from me in the final few corners here. We're still going to be just about settled inside the top 10 there, but Teo Porcher, we just overstepped the rear end. Of course, these soft tyres starting maybe just to hit the cliff late on in the day. I'm not going to give up just yet. So there we go, the tyre warning light has just flashed up there. Can we still try and get a run on Enzo Fittipaldi in towards the final corner? I don't think it's going to happen, and we have absolutely thrown away some big points here. Cembolek Bassi will round the final corner. He will win the first feature race of the year. They're ahead of Felipe Drugovich. Fred Vesti will come through for P3 ahead of Lawson, but we only finish in P10.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Brilliant stuff from Charouz today. What a superb victory. So, Davide, how exactly did they set themselves apart from the pack today?
The difference was in the strategy. Credit to the driver for sure, but races like this really drive home how much of a team sport this is. They did a lot of work on the pit wall to really make the most of each stint and to make the best use of the tires. But that said, all of that would have been for nothing without a talented hand on the wheel.
It's time for those well-deserved celebrations. They may be one of the newer teams to join F2, but the Charouz team have shown they're a force to be reckoned with, taking home the victory. Well done to everyone on the team. And now, let's take a look at the driver's stand. Cembolek Bassi takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship after that excellent result. Now then, Davide Valsecchi, who would you say was your driver of the day?
Lots of drivers impressed me today, Alex. But if I have to say one that impressed me most, it's Cembolek Bassi.
On to the teams then. ART moved to the top of the table. That's the end of today's race. Thank you for joining us, and I'm sure you'll agree it was a great race and sets us up nicely for the next instalment in a few weeks' time. Take care. From Davide and I, it's goodbye.
Well, there we are then. Cembolek Bassi from sim racing back to the real world of motorsport. He is an F2 winner there. 8/10 clear of Drugovich at the line there, but I cannot believe we threw that away right at the very end there. Fred Vesti P3, Liam Lawson ahead of Umu Iwasa in P5 there, ahead of Williams, Caldwell, Daruvula, Fittipaldi, and yeah, luckily, I mean, we still scored a single point there, but it wasn't quite the 15 I was eyeing up there, or maybe even 18 if we got the jump on Felipe Drugovich. Just for Shaw and Sargent not able to make it to the checkered flag in this one. Standings, though, does mean, yep, Cembolek Bassi at the front of the field there. 28 points for him, 8 clear of Felipe Drugovich after the first weekend's worth of racing there. Fred Vesti P3 ahead of Liam Lawson there. Yeah, Lawson probably the only driver actually to score good points in both races, ahead of Williams and ourselves. Iwasa, Yuri Vips, Ollie Caldwell, Daruvula, as well as Fittipaldi and Vashaw have all scored points after the opening weekend worth of racing. But teams-wise, 1 point, the gap between ourselves and Charouz after the first weekend of action there, but we are leading the way there. MP Motorsport P3 ahead of Carl in there, Trident Dams, High-Tech, Campos and Prema, with just Van Amersfoort and Virtuosi unable to score after the first weekend of action. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well, and we will return next weekend. We'll be back in the, in the Middle East even, Jeddah Corniche Street Circuit. That is going to be absolute chaos, and I'm sure you guys do not want to miss it. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.